Yeah. Anytime you're ready. Almost ready.
Hi everyone. So I just want to introduce Larry Laviolette with Windigo First Nation Council, and he's going to do a discussion on, as you can see here, fire prevention and safety in the home. So, right over.
Okay, good afternoon. I hope you had a good meal. For the next hour and so, we're going to be going through some safety features of the home that should be done in your construction regarding life safety. If you have questions, just raise your hand and I'll answer them the best I can. Some housekeeping here. We have an exit on that side. The washrooms across the hall, male and female. And then there's an exit straight out the door. Those of you guys that don't know me again, Larry Laviolette, I'm out of Windigo, First Nation Council in Sioux Lookout. And most of you guys see me traveling through the north or see me in the airport somewhere along the line. So, we'll get at her here. Okay, next one. Okay, to prevent fires, it is just the basic rule. Common sense plays a big factor in preventing a fire. And that's an education thing, not only by your local fire departments, your tribal council fire officers, your fire departments, and so on. It's the housing people to look at life safety. One of the biggest things as a fire inspector, we look at three elements when we're doing a building review. What we want to do is look at preventing a fire from occurring. So we look at the three sources. We can't remove oxygen from a building or what we breathe in today, so we ignore that level. But the main one is heat and fuel source. We look at those points to try and reduce the fire loads or the fire hazards in the home or in the community at whole. So what we were trying to do is eliminate those two main items. So, the next slide. And then how fire kills in no matter what, to be blunt and straightforward, sometimes it's a teaching tool. When a fire occurs in a home, that first 3 minutes is a big factor. What fire does, it suffocates a person. Okay? It takes the oxygen away. Smoke and poisonous gases are developed. With today's products on the market, from our paint, our wood, our electrical, and so forth, all the plumbing fixtures, insulation, they give off toxic gases. Some of them are common, we know about all the time, is carbon monoxide. The other one is hydrogen cyanide. How many of you guys seen a home burn up north, either accidentally or if you guys just getting rid of them in the community? If you see that yellow smoke developing in a fire at home, that is part of hydrogen cyanide that's given off in a fire. Phosphine gases from the plastics and so forth. And it consumes the oxygen we breathe. What we breathe right now, we breathe approximately 21% air. But as a fire burns readily, it starts to eat up that oxygen. So what we try and do is eliminate that. Am I moving around too much for you? Okay, thank you. All right. What we try and do as fire officers, as you guys, as builders, we try and make those homes as safe as possible. One of the things that we try and do is educate the communities is placing smoke alarms or smoke detectors in a home. What we want is to ensure that there's a defense or an early warning device available to warn the occupants in that home. Those first 3 minutes, the minute to 3 minutes, is very important. The smoke alarm should be also placed in all levels of the home, right? As I mentioned this morning, they should be electrically hardwired into the home. If not, then you should have battery backup to it method. Preferably, if you have children, have a smoke alarm in each of the bedrooms. A number of years ago, I think it was last year's the last time ANDC sponsored the smoke alarm and CO2 program, but we issued enough smoke alarms that we can have one smoke alarm for every home and CO2 for every home. We also, with the abundance of it, we gave enough to add to some of the homes, one for each bedroom, if possible. Okay, thank you. Types of smoke alarms. There's very, very different models on the market. Again, the hardwired, once they're installed, there's tables up here, chairs. There's some there, you can sit up there. There's the ionization type, the photoelectric smoke alarms on the market. And then there's also the 10-year lithium battery type of smoke alarms. Those are the ones that were purchased by your local fire departments and issued around the communities. These are non-breakable. If you broke them, they're useless. You can't use them anywhere. Even if the people or the homeowners or kids tried to get at that battery, once you did that, you screwed or broke the smoke alarms and they had to be replaced. From there, once you install them, those 10-year lithiums, once you screw them in the wall or in the ceiling, you mount it and you turn the unit on, she's activated for 10 years. At the 10-year mark, you're going to hear that smoke alarm chirping every 5 to 30 seconds. It will chirp. Beep, beep, be silent. Beep, beep, be silent. So what that's telling you, that smoke alarm is reached its lifespan. And all smoke alarms have a lifespan of 10 years, regardless. If they're like these here in a hotel, these smoke alarms, they have a lifespan of 10 years also. So every 10 years, they have to be replaced. Same with the home residential units, they have to be replaced. Okay. Smoke alarms, they have to be installed in every single dwelling unit. In rentals, and if the band is renting it out, they have to be responsible to ensure that they're operational. Where it's required under the Ontario Fire Code and the National Fire Code, which the province dictates, they have to be in each bedroom or on each floor level between the sleeping area or somewhere in the remaining dwelling unit. If a sleeping area is served by a hallway, they have to be installed there. Smoke alarms must also be installed on each story of the dwelling unit. Right? So you have a 2-story home or split level, every story has to have one installed. Basements included. In each bedroom area separated by a door, smoke alarms are required. Smoke alarms are recommended. Not recommended to be installed in kitchens, attics, garages. Right? Why would you not want the smoke alarms to be installed in a kitchen? Nuisance alarms. You're going to get constant nuisance alarms. Right? All the time. You burn your bannock, boil your tea, right? All that steam will activate that smoke alarm. So you don't want it in the kitchen. You want it away down the hallway. Okay, next one. Here's a pictograph designed by the National Fire Protection Association. Required areas, recommended, right? You want them in a basement. Optional is in the recreational room, but that's another level, so that would be required. In the living room, bedrooms, hallways, bedrooms. Okay? Those where they're required. The other one, normally this floor plan is something that most of the First Nations have up north. Basic one floor with bedrooms on either side. You want it in the basic area down the hallway. As you can see in the pictograph, there is a design of a fireplace or a wood stove, whichever. You want it away from there. Backdraft or little puffs of smokes will get it going. Okay? Preferably, you can install one in a bedroom. Okay. Here's another one. Locations. In a hallway, stairwell, living room area, basement. They all have to be interconnected if they're electrical. You can buy them today where they're Wi-Fi connected, so that each floor level can have a smoke alarm. Here's another one. Where would you put it if it wasn't there? In the living room, kitchen? Would that be a good spot for it? There's a gentleman in a gray shirt there shaking his head. Why wouldn't it? Where? Yeah, nuisance alarm. Too close to the kitchen. I would put it in the bedroom. Right? Silent hours, if you're awake, living room, watching TV, playing your games like Mikey does, you know, the Xbox, right? Here's another location. You don't want it in the garage, you don't want it in the kitchen, right? In the hallway, closer to the bedrooms. Good location. Next one. Now, this is where I find a lot of them, and probably a lot of you guys do the same thing. Installing them. When you install them, don't put them in the corner, right in the corner. Don't do that. Because what happens, the smoke will come around the corner, hit that, go down. Miss that corner. Your smoke alarm is not going to activate. It will activate eventually when the whole room gets full of smoke, but it's too late, right? So place your smoke alarms, again, 4 inches down, minimum, to the side, minimum. Oh, okay. Again, having a 12-inch. In Canada, they recommend 18 inches, but 12 inches minimum. I just did a house in Sioux Lookout, municipality. The fire department approved it. It was stuck in a corner. Didn't have a battery. Again, things get overlooked. Okay? So places not to put them is an exact corner. And I do find them, not only on the First Nations, in the municipalities. Right? So it happens right across the board. Next one. Thank you. Up in the ceiling, cathedral ceilings. Right? Not right at the top. Right? Usually you bring it down to approximately 2 feet, 3 feet down, install it there. I got one right now in a school. There's a beam, there's a smoke alarm attached on this side. Right? What happens? Smoke will come around that beam, miss that smoke alarm, that whole area is unprotected till the room gets full of smoke. So, next one. Do's and don'ts. Pretty straightforward, right? Not 1 meter or 100 centimeters from the tip of a ceiling fan. The fan itself will sometimes activate it. Just the wind going through it. From stairs leading to other occupancy levels. Not where the smoke could be blocked by reaching the smoke, from reaching the smoke alarm. From stairwells leading up from the basement. Locate the smoke alarms on the basement ceiling near the entrance of the stairs. Right? Not down in the corner by itself, closer to the stairs. But not in the stairwell, that's going to be missed. Okay? Installations don't. In areas where temperatures or humidity are outside the manufacturer's limits. Okay? Some smoke alarms, they'll say, for cottages, campsites, or cabins, and so forth. You have to carry your own smoke alarm back and forth because the battery will freeze in some of these type of situations. Temperatures above 38 degrees may fail. Not mounting the smoke alarm surface becomes too cold or too hot. Within 1 meter of a bathroom door or fan. Not within an air supply register. It will activate just the dust, the particles. Another one is not doing your annual maintenance on smoke alarms. Some homeowners will say, it keeps activating, darn, throw it in the garbage. It's no good. Well, did you vacuum it out? No seams, little flies, dust, cobwebs, spiders, get in there and we'll activate it. So just a little bit of vacuuming does the job. Maintenance. 9-volt batteries, replace them on a regular basis. Right? If you're issuing or installing 9-volt type of smoke alarms, have the homeowner replace. Have the homeowners test them. Make up a checklist for the homeowners. When they're getting a new home, these are your do's and don'ts for the home. Right? Just like you're doing hot water tank maintenance, setting the regulators there and so forth. Same thing for your smoke alarms. Cleaning, I just mentioned cleaning. Replacement every 10 years. Okay? There's a different one that we talk about carbon monoxide because they have a different lifespan. For testing on a monthly basis. You know who's a good reminder? Does anybody have an idea who's a great reminder in a home to have, to educate? These little guys that run around. Teach them to tell the parents it's time to test that smoke alarm. Right? Because they'll never forget. They see that calendar or that date, oh, smoke alarm time. Okay, test it once a month. Smoke alarms. Where do you buy them? You get them from the contractors, right? Your suppliers, and so forth. But again, there's some suppliers sometimes buy cheap in a bulk, and they're made in some foreign country that are not ULC or CSA approved. This morning I showed you the CSA symbol, right? The CSA with the big C, SA in the middle. If you look at some of the smoke alarms being bought from some places like China, Thailand, and so forth, you'll see the C, you'll see the A. What's missing? The S. So they're not tested or certified for Canada. So watch for those knockoffs. Okay? Make sure that in your housing packages that you get the approved types and makes and models. Right? Do 5-minute homework. Okay? educating yourself, getting the hard wires put in properly spaced, so that the homeowners are not going to come in there after the first bannock burning when he gets the new home, or her gets the new home, right? And beats the snot out of that smoke alarm because it won't shut off, right? A lot of these new smoke alarms come with a hush button. A hush button. That means you walk up, it's activated, you push it, that little, it says hush on it, push it. It'll shut the smoke alarm off for 5 minutes, depending on the manufacturer, 3, 5, and then it'll reactivate. So you don't have to beat the snot out of it, right? Those little firefighters that sit in there with the little binoculars that sit in that smoke alarm will save a life one of these days. And it's been proven up north many, many times where it's saved one particular family. Lady comes up every time I see her in the community. That smoke alarm you gave me saved me and my family. What she did, she opened up the oven door. It was cold in the house. Turned up the old oven, right? Went to bed. What happens? The heat radiated, caught the kitchen counter on fire, and that smoke alarm went off. She only had time to grab the baby and her daughter. Out the door she went, and the whole living room went up and kitchen. So it does that first minute to 3. Okay. Before we get into carbon monoxide, any questions on smoke alarms? Guys got to have some questions. No questions? Did you know that there's going to be an exam after this? Got some movement out of that, right? Carbon monoxide. Okay. Does this have a CD player? Okay. We will look at a DVD here shortly. I think I left it in my vehicle, so. But we'll carry on. Carbon monoxide. What is carbon monoxide? Next one. Some general information. CO, basics. It's a hidden danger, risk to the population. Accidental poisoning. What to do when you encounter it, right? First and foremost, evacuate the building, your home. Symptoms of CO2s we'll be covering briefly. Carbon monoxide is dangerous is an understatement. Very understated. Okay? What is carbon monoxide? CO2 is a compound of carbon and oxygen. One atom of carbon, one atom of oxygen. It is colorless, it's tasteless, it's odorless. It is a poisonous gas. Displaces air in the home, the oxygen we breathe. Okay. Where does it come from? Incomplete combustion. Various hydrocarbons, fuels, such as coal, wood. We burn a lot of wood, right? Oil, incomplete combustion. Charcoal, barbecues, charcoal barbecues. Kerosene, heaters, portable heaters, kerosene. Coleman stoves, propane, natural gas, and so forth. Okay. Common causes of incomplete combustion, smoldering fires. Do we have lots of those up north? Or at home? Do we? Guaranteed. Burning of wet wood. Right? I spoke about wet wood, ice buildups on the chimneys this morning. That's one of them. Burning of green wood. green, right? Carbon monoxide. Lack of oxygen during combustion, right? You're not producing enough air for that wood stove to burn properly, to get a complete combustion. Then you get incomplete. Malfunctioning appliances, right? Oil, gas, hot water tanks, oil burning hot water tanks, exhaust systems, malfunctioning exhaust systems, right? Could be your chimney, exhaust. Carbon monoxide pollution, wood stoves, fireplaces, heaters, furnaces. Those are some of the common causes and sources that we see nowadays. Next one. Vehicle exhaust. Very important. If you're running your vehicle outside in the morning, you're starting it up, letting it run. You have your, for example, your HRV sucking in air, right? What's going to happen? It's going to come in the house, right? And then you're going to have carbon monoxide. Smoking. I used to be a smoker, right? I'm one of those non-smokers, the annoying ones. Put that out, right? Next. Portable heaters, generators. I've seen these running outside bedroom windows, the generators. When the power goes out, they'll run them up right outside the window. Leave the window opening. Where does the exhaust go? Back in the house. This one down here, how many of you guys seen these in use in homes? Kerosene heaters. Can't just be me, right? I've seen them at home, up north. My brother almost killed himself. Too lazy to go out and cut wood. Put that in his living room. Sat there, watched TV. Next thing you know, my brother-in-law went in to visit, dragging him out. He was almost dead. Kerosene heater. No good. Those are some of the basic ones. Right? Hidden dangers of CO2s in the home or around. Carbon monoxide, common exposure poisoning. Carbon monoxide is not easily recognized because the signs and symptoms are similar, and symptoms are similar to signs of other illnesses, colds, flus, right? Headaches. Oh, I got a migraine to kill. She's just killing me. Why? If it's just happening in your home all the time, and then you go outside, that migraine goes away, and you come home, it's there again. There's got to be a reasoning behind it, right? Some of the doctors overlook that symptoms. They overlook it because they're thinking it's something else, right? Again, it can mask itself until it's too late, right? I've seen people up north where their cheeks are red, right? And they're sleepy, sluggish. Then you take them outside and then they brighten up. They go back in, the same problem. Incomplete combustion from their wood stoves. Chimneys are plugged. I've seen a chimney with a hole that big, actually 8-inch stainless steel flue, plugged, not clean, and it was about an inch hole. That was the only thing exhausting. So, CO2, is colorless, odorless, and you can't taste it. And it'll cause sudden illnesses and then eventually death. You hear once or twice a year during heating seasons that somebody has perished in the province of Ontario somewhere because of incomplete combustion, either from a vehicle running in their garage or a vehicle running outside, or their furnace is not working properly, maintained wrongly, and so forth. Next one. Seek medical attentions. Do's. Do seek medical attention if you suspect CO2 poisoning immediately. They may, for some of us, that will have to be evacuated to a bigger center to get tested. If your family is feeling dizzy, lightheaded, nauseous, and especially if you have a carbon monoxide detector and it's going off, don't just take that carbon monoxide, look at it, and it's annoying. Throwing it away. Right? If you feel these symptoms, if you find that those symptoms are developing, then, and your CO2 is going off in the home, yes. Oops, sorry, my mistake. I apologize. Firefighter, right? Okay? CO2, wrong. Carbon dioxide is not, it's CO. Sorry, my mistake. I'm allowed, after 40 years. Okay? CO. Alarms are sounding. Make sure that you check what's the problem. Get everybody out of that home. Find the source. Open those windows, find the problem, and get that carbon monoxide checked. Why is it happening? I've seen where a furnace guy went into the community, did maintenance, did a mild mild to say, and then the CO2 was activated within a couple hours after he left that building. Okay? Again, sorry. Just throw something at me, okay? Next. Carbon monoxide. Unlike the smoke alarms that last 10 years, the COs have a lifespan of 6. The ones that are placed by the fire alarm companies, electronic ones, have a lifespan of 7 years. For example, when the school gets their CO installed, they have a lifespan of 7 years. How can you tell? There's a little label in all smoke alarms. It'll tell you the manufacturer date. It tells you when you install them what to check. There's a little month check it, and it'll tell you how long that smoke alarm is good for. CO is good for. Now you got me going around in circles. No, my fault. Approximately 2,500 people are killed each year in residential fires, and another 500 die from carbon monoxide poisoning. A colorless, odorless gas that is known as the silent killer. There is a video like I brought, but I put it in my truck there at lunchtime. I apologize. Installing a CO and a smoke throughout your home is the first step of staying safe. You guys heard a couple years ago in Ontario, two police officers were killed at home with their family because of a furnace malfunction. So they were killed because the furnace was giving off CO. Okay? When hydrocarbon burns, you'll see in that little pictograph picture, you'll get a nice blue flame evenly on a propane stove. You'll see it, all the flames are equal. You're getting a complete combustion. You're getting a nice blue flame, right? The environmental abundance of oxygen is available there. Emitting carbon dioxide and water, zero emissions of CO, and making indoor cooking stoves safe is right. If you have gas stoves at home and you got that orange glow and all that stuff, you got to get it maintained. Same with your propane furnaces. How many deal with propane? No? Yes? Maybe? Check them. Make sure that you service your appliance, just like your oil, just like your wood. Service them. Get them serviced by a licensed technician. There's too many of those technicians running around out there who say they know what they're doing but don't know nothing. Okay? NFPA references, those are what I used in developing this. I don't reinvent the wheel. I take the information from these standards. Okay? So those are the references I used. If you want them, they're going to be on the website available. Okay, next one. Okay, I'm going to show you that video, but I don't have it available. Can we go to the next one? Okay, next. Okay, we'll get into Edith. How many of you guys know this girl? You guys got to know her. No? I do. I know her pretty good. Edith. Come on, come on. You know that, right? The acronym? Okay, the acronym. Exit drills in the home. We teach this. We teach this in our workplace. We do fire drills in our workplace. Right? Supposed to. Right? We do them so we know what to do in event of emergency. How to react to an incident. We do these at home so we can teach our family how to react in event of an emergency. Not just to pull the blankets over my head and say, we'll deal with it later. Right? No. Okay. Do it again. What I do with my children when they were small. Now they're not. I did them with my foster children. I teach them how to get out of the house in event of an emergency. I teach them to know the primary route, just like in their school fire drills, and their secondary route. I teach them where to meet outside. Right? I teach them that. Second story routes, what to do if you can't get out that window. Right? What to do. Put a blanket, put some kind of source so you let the firefighters know you're in that room. Or tie a blanket and sheet out the window. Years ago, Canadian Tire used to put those little stickers on the bedroom windows. How many of you guys seen those? No? You used to get them, put them on your window. The kid inside, it tells the fire department. It was a good plan, but you know what the no-gooders did? Took advantage of it, right? Because they knew the kids were in that room, they'd break into that room, right? Easy access to the home. You know, things like that, but they don't do that no more. Teaching them how to make sure the windows are open easily. right? No big nails, eh? Pounding them in the corner so the kids stay in there, right? Make sure that the windows are easily open. You know those crank type handles, right? Make sure that they know where, if you got to remove them, make sure those kids know where they are in that room so that they can open that window. Obstructions. How to escape. Escape ladders. Safety bars. A lot of people are starting to use safety bars in their windows to prevent B&Es from happening. Right? We know how to get in with as firefighters, but do the kids know how to get out? Or do the family know how to get out that barred window? Right? Kids don't have a big 5-ton truck outside with a big winch that hooks up or a big chainsaw that goes, right? They don't have that. Some of the designs have pins, you pull them, or a big handle you lift up that little kids could even lift to allow them to escape. Knowing the exit, how to get out of the home. That's why we use EDITH, exit drills in the home, teaching our children, teaching the adults how to get out of the home. What is the most common things that adults do when their house catches on fire? Anybody? Yeah, they'll go back in and collect something, right? One of them is this little nasty thing, right? Has become a habit for some people. The last one in Slate Falls. Forgot my teeth. I had to go back in, right? What else? These things. Can't see a damn without them, right? Is your life worth a set of false teeth, a pair of glasses, or that phone? Because it takes a matter of seconds, that smoke, to take you out. Like I said in the early one, first minute to 3 minutes is dangerous. Okay? Meeting place outside. Teach the children where, or the adults to meet, what's a head count outside, right? Teach them. You as builders, to teach everybody in that community what to do. You're putting in new doors, new windows, new shingles, and everything else, but you're forgetting the safety side of it. So not only the fire guys, it's a community effort to do the job. What got me into this trade 40-some years ago, I stood back home on my reserve, standing watching a house burn with my cousins inside. So it's deep down in here. When I had a chance to become a professional, I became. Want some? Just waving, eh? Okay? Meeting place. One location in front of a house. Once you're out, stay out. Get out and stay out. Right? If you have a 911 system in your community, use it. Don't abuse it. Use 911. Same with your 7-digit number in the community. How many of you guys have a 7-digit fire department number or emergency number for that community? You have one? You have one? Kingfisher, I know. Yep. Well, I teach that. That's one of my first things I try and get across to chief and council when you're building that fire department. Get a number so everybody knows in the community. Identify your homes. How many communities are starting to number their homes? Streets. Very important. Right? Once you get that, 911 starts to work a little bit more. Right? If you don't have a phone available, send somebody to make a phone call to get the emergency number. Or the emergency services rolling. Some of the emergency services in some communities might be just the police officers, departments, and so forth. But get them rolling. Children, teach them not to hide. Very important. Teach them not to hide. In my years as firefighting, children have been found in vanities, found in drawers, closets, under mattresses. Not by myself only. Other members of the fire department found them. Right? No hiding. No place to hide. Teach them, the firefighters, with this big get up and go with the noise that sounds like dinosaurs or monsters. We're not monsters. We're there to help them. We're crawling in. We might be out of shape, but we're helping. Right? Don't wait. Teach them. Right? Don't wait for anybody. Let them know to get out. Do this drill every 6 months. It works. Right? I just had my foster boy come visit, and he asked if we still do this. Yeah, so we still do. Practice. Unannounced. Just like school. Workplace. Practice. Unannounced drills. Realistically, you can do it at night, or you can do it in daylight, or without lights. Survival tips. Smoke alarms, again, very important. Sounding a smoke alarm and have it working. That first minute to 3 minutes, that smoke alarm gives you a warning. You're going to live through that condition or that fire or that emergency. Bedroom doors. Make sure that they're closed. You guys buy your housing packages, make sure that you teach them to close that door. Don't take that door out and make a firewood out of it, right? Testing the doors, making sure that they work. Don't nail them. Use your windows. Teach. Crawl below the smoke. Stop, drop, and roll. You guys think that's a kiddie thing? It is not. You can be at a campfire. Your clothes catch on fire. Guess what? If you're going to run, you're going to become a candle. Right? You ever do that with a matchstick? Watch the flame trail? That's what happens. Consider other special considerations. Elders. Right? Some people live with their family members who are elderly, who have walking conditions, who have visual conditions, and so forth. If that happens, you might have to get a smoke alarm for them so they can see it. If they're deaf, they can see it. Or a vibrating type of smoke alarm that they can feel it on their bed. Next one. Hazards, common hazards, all the time. Cooking is a common hazard and a common fire. Smoking. Ashtrays, improper ashtrays. Heating appliances, electrical systems, and cords like this. Right? How many of you guys dealt with me in fire inspections? Some of you guys did. What's my biggest complaint? Right? These. Open flames. Flammable liquid and combustible liquids. Children playing with matches or fire. Not only children. I've seen adults do it. Arson. That's one of the biggest ones lately. It's either to grab attention to themselves, or they're trying to let people know I need help. They'll light a fire. And the latest one now is retaliation for going public or going to the police. Cooking, leading cause of home fires, stove burners, ovens, microwaves, countertop appliances, toasters, coffee makers, hot plates. Cell phones now are becoming a problem, some of them overheating, causing fires. Don't overload outlets. How many of you guys use power bars? Yeah? How many of you guys have the octopus? The multiple plug that goes into your... Are they safe? You have one? Okay. Just tell you an example. The octopus, right? You plug it in. That outlet, 15 amps. It serves that line. How many outlets per line or one breaker? 8? 10? 8 to 10. Okay? So if that outlet has a breaker at 15 amps, right? That octopus, you have your TV plugged in there, your toaster, or whatever, right? All your games, machines. It's maybe drawing 15 amps or more. And then you got that whole line system all plugged in for other appliances. That breaker keeps kicking off, right? You keep resetting it. I'm getting tired of resetting that 15 amp. I'll go pull that and put a 20. That electrical line behind the wall is rated only for 15 amps. What happens next? You got yourself a fire, right? Don't overload your electrical outlets. 40% of fatal cooking fires occur when the victim is asleep. No word of a lie. I went to 3 fires in my career. All 3 of them were sound asleep. Grease, making French fries. Went to the kitchen, living room, turned on the tube, fell asleep. Oil and don't mix. Okay? Mix it. Grease fires. If you have a grease fire, put a lid on it. Turn the burner off. Do not throw water on a grease fire. It's almost like throwing gasoline into a fire. Oven fires. Close the door. Let it smother itself out. Turn the oven off. Microwaves, the same thing. Turn them off. Unplug them if you have a chance. Okay. Pot handles, especially when there's elders and children around. Elders sometimes walk around with loose fitting clothing, sweaters, to keep themselves warm. They'll walk by a pot, clip it. A child will, what's for supper? Grease, oil, hot water, and so forth. Okay? Don't leave cooking unattended. Keep your appliances clean. Your clothing. Try and keep them nice and tight or snug. Flammable liquids away. Oils. Heat oil slowly. Don't do like Jamie Oliver. turn her up, right? Throw your meat on, slightly brown. Keep children away from the stoves. Fire extinguishers, good thing to have. All First Nation homes, when the house is built, are issued a 5-pound fire extinguisher. And they should be annually inspected, replaced almost every 5 years. They're good for small fires, nothing major. We, as firefighters, should teach the community members at home how to use them. Keep them in an accessible area, right? Don't keep them in the closet behind, near the range. When that's on fire, you can't reach it. Have it in an area where it's accessible. The right type, BC, ABC. First aid kits and first aid, yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes, there is. It's 4 foot 10 inches. Fire extinguishers, and if the weight of the fire extinguisher is above 20 pounds, it can go down because of the weight of it, right? Anything above 30 pounds has to be on wheels. The new occupational health because of people's back. 30 pounds, quite heavy. No problem. Don't put butter on it and other greases. Mikey? No? I thought you wanted some butter. Oh, okay. Running cold water for 5 to 10 minutes is required, then seek medical attention. Okay? Smoking, right? I used to smoke, but not anymore. Don't smoke. Leading causes of fires that result in death. Use and empty the ashtray frequently if you smoke. Check for smoldering butts. It's not the southbound or the northbound end of yourself. It's the cigarette butts. After parties, right? Don't smoke in bed, right? Don't smoke in bed. Space heaters, my nemesis. A lot of these contribute to a lot of problems. Make sure that they're ULC approved. Use the proper fuel. In fact, try and use electrical, right? Eliminate fuel sources. Give space heaters away from combustible materials 3 to 4 feet minimum. I've seen them in just piled up underneath clothing, plugged in, and there's heat, and then the clothes on top of it. Okay? Carbon monoxide detectors. Make sure you have them. Heating appliances. We talked about wood stoves, fireplaces, creosotes, chimneys. Clean them. It states once a year. But because we use as a primary heat source, I am suggesting that you clean your wood stoves, your chimney, periodically, every 30 days in the cold weather climates. Keep small fires. Use fireplace screens if you got a fireplace. Do not burn garbage, because what you're doing if you put garbage inside your wood stove, the chemicals from those garbage will deteriorate the wood stove and cause further damages to your appliance and your venting system. Do not use the Boy Scout fire starter gas, right? Do not. The other thing, how many of you guys use those little synthetic wood logs? Nobody? Good. Because I just did a house about a month ago in Sioux Lookout. I got a call to do a wet inspection on a guy's furnace. He's wondering why his flue pipe and his door from his furnace blew off. I get there, there's the remains of those synthetic logs. He had 4 of them in there. They're high temperature, requiring high amount of oxygen. So what happened? He blew the doors off his appliance. Cracked it, did every kind of damage. No good. New wood stove required. Next one, please. Electrical systems, I touched on this, right? Make sure everything's in good working order. Have 1 appliance per outlet, extension cords, power bars, child protector caps if you have small children so that they don't stick anything in it. Remove broken, frayed plugs. Extension cords. Remove them. Lampshades. Big one, light bulbs. Some of you guys buy these lighting packages, these white element things that are rated to 60 watts. As housing guys, you guys see those, right? For your living room fixtures, bedroom fixtures, and so forth. They're rated for 60. I've seen them turn brown and brittle because the homeowner is using above 60 watts. I've seen them use 100 watts. I've seen them use those heat lamps, right? So be cautious. Next one, please. Right? Open flames. You're using open flames in the home. Candles, use candle holders. Preferably, if you've got a candle holder that has a method like this, so if something falls, it'll stay in there. Or it's better yet, if there's water and you can float a candle in it, 10 times better. Don't use candles. Flashlights instead of use candles. Hot wax burns. My wife used to make candles till she lit up the kitchen. So quite expensive endeavor. Liquids in the home, gasoline, oily rags, no smoking or open flames, and so forth. Next one. Candles, holiday safety, very important. Very important for the homeowners, use as building managers and so forth. Candles, you educate the community not to use them. Christmas trees, very important, right? Don't use candles on Christmas trees. Have you guys seen that? No? I have. Lights, again, ULC and CSA approved. Very important. You'll see the dollar store selling them. Check to make sure they have those ULC and CSA approved. Yes. Underwriters Laboratory of Canada. Okay? And CSA is Canadian Safety Standard Association. Very important. You will see knockoffs from Thailand and so forth. There's a recommendation. Get the Mounties, the fraud squad people, come do a lecture next year. See what type of housing materials being sold from these countries. Extension cords, your wiring, your light fixtures. You know, you guys are paying, for example, a light fixture, $15. The supplier's buying them from this other supplier, $5. This guy's buying them from China for 10 cents, right? Be cautious on that, okay? Any questions what I covered? Smoke alarms, CO2s, not CO2s, I see the smile. Bad habit, firefighter, carbon monoxide, yeah? best way to check your fire extinguisher, if you have a pressurized fire extinguisher, for example, a 5-pounder, 10-pounder, just turn it upside down, give it a little shake, you'll feel the chemical go in it, move. If you feel it moving, it's still good, and if it's in green, what you do is you do what's called a quick check. After you feel it move, place it down. Check your nozzle, right? There's no plugs in it. Check to see if it has a seal and a pin. And you check the gauge if it's in the green. If it's in the green, she's good, right? But every fire extinguisher that's under pressure should undergo a servicing at least once a year. That's the fire code requirement. But if you're in a situation where cost factors and so forth, if you're getting movement, then it's still good. Okay? But if you turn it upside down, you don't feel anything, right? Then she's hard packed. Because either moisture's got into the extinguisher when they filled it, and she's no good. There's another way they used to say, take a rubber mallet, give it a pound at the bottom, you'll feel the chemical move. That's an old myth. Okay? Any other questions? Yes? You shouldn't have one unless it's occupied. But you can put a battery operated one, okay? If it's unoccupied. A crawl space should not be occupied, right? CO, yeah. No, not necessarily. If it's a fossil fuel type burning appliance in the home, if you got a car outside, then I would suggest, strongly suggest, putting one in. Yeah, get in the basement, your car is running, the wind direction changes, it can come in through an open door, crack, and so forth. Right? Any other questions? That's all I got. Gentlemen, ladies. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. The what I was talking about, a licensed technician. If you have for example, an oil burning appliance in the home or a hot water tank that's oil burning, make sure that that oil burning technician is licensed by TSSA, a minimum of level 2, and make sure he does competent work. That's the key word, competent. He may have a license, but he might not do competent work. Okay? You can check this on the website. I check all the fire alarm companies annually that do servicing in Sioux Lookout. Make sure that they have a license to do the work. Same with TSSA. I phone and I get a list of all their licensed installers in the Sioux Lookout district. Same with the electricians. We have one electrician, I'm not going to say where, but he's going around the north saying he's an electrician, but he's not licensed in the province of Ontario. Okay? You should check them. Okay? That's all I have. I thank you. And like I said, if you have questions, I'm reachable at Windigo office. If you need to get a hold of me by email, you go to the Windigo First Nation Council website, check it there. I have an email address. Click onto it. Ask your question. When I get back to the office, or I'm available, you'll get an answer. Okay? Thank you.
The next session starts at 3.
Oh, geez, sorry. I could have kept going. Just kidding.